And we begin with breaking news from Iran, where local media are reporting the country has abolished its morality police. The announcement comes after months of nationwide demonstrations triggered by the arrest of Gina Mahsa Amini. The young woman died after being taken to police custody for violating Iran's strict female dress code. Iran's attorney general told a major state news agency that, quote, morality police have nothing to do with the judiciary. We'll bring more on this story during the course of the day. But for now, let's bring in Kamran Matin. He is a senior lecturer on international relations at the University of Sussex. What are we to make of this announcement, sir?
Well, first of all, I would issue a note of caution initially about the announcement because, as the Attorney General said, the so-called morality police was not part of the judiciary system. It wasn't an organ of the judiciary. It was actually part of the so-called law enforcement forces, or police force. Such an announcement should really be announced by that institution, and that hasn't happened yet. And secondly, since the protests began after the killing of Mahsa Gina Amini, this morality police patrols have de facto ceased because of the situation. So they really haven't been in operation the last 2-3 months anyways. So I think until the government formally announces this, we have to treat this with caution. But what is clear is that the government pursues two policies simultaneously, it seems. On the one hand, it has increased the crackdown, issuing death sentences against those they have arrested during the protests, increasing military presence in certain areas such as Kurdistan and Baluchistan. At the same time, they are signaling certain messages about flexibility or adaptability of the Islamic Republic towards certain policies, including the so-called hijab policy. So they are hoping this combination of the two, the stick and the carrot, might bring the protest to an end.
So it's not quite perhaps a victory. Is it likely to stop the protests, do you think, though?
Well, the very fact that for the first time, really, Islamic Republic announcing such approach is in itself quite a significant victory, because the regime is really not used to making concessions to protests. So in that sense, I think the protests have already actually achieved something quite significant. But I'm not sure actually this will bring the protests to a halt. In fact, one reason such announcements might be made is that people, organizations of civil society, protesters have announced that they will have 3 days of action on the 5th, 6th, and 7th of December over the course of the coming week. And maybe the government is trying to somehow preempt this by announcing such decisions to kind of discourage people from coming to the streets, saying that what you want is already being discussed or is going to be implemented. But I think those 3 days are crucial in assessing whether the protest movement is going to have the momentum it has had thus far.
Okay, thank you so much for that insight, Kamran Matin from the University of Sussex.
Thank you. Thanks.